I was recently asked a very good question by a viewer, and the question is, what do you do in a crisis if you genuinely have nothing to say? Hey everybody, Melissa Agnes here, and I'm here with this week's episode of the Crisis Ready video series, where I aim to help you implement a crisis-ready culture, one tip, strategy, or case study at a time. So what do you do in a crisis if you genuinely have nothing to say, and yet there is this expectation that you will say something? Two important points to make on this one. At the onset of a crisis, it's very possible that you feel as though you have nothing to say because you don't have any information regarding the crisis yet. However, that's just a feeling that you have nothing to say. The fact is that you do have things to say and that you need to come out and say it. So what does that mean? That means that you are aware, you can say that you're aware of the incident. You can say what you are planning to do to investigate or manage the incident behind the scenes. And you can also let stakeholders know when and how you will continue to provide them with timely updates throughout the management of the crisis. Those are very, very important things to say at the onset of the crisis. And it's also very important to know that at the onset of a crisis, people expect for your organization to communicate, but they don't expect for you to have all the answers. So taking this approach with your first response statement is very, very important for meeting those expectations and for positioning your organization as the voice of trust, credibility, and leadership throughout the crisis. Now, what happens if you, during your first response statement, said that you would be back in 24 hours with another update, and yet 24 hours is here, it's come, and you have no new news to report, genuinely nothing new to say? You come back and you keep that promise and you say that you have no new news to report, that you have no new information to share. However, you also extend that communication and you say what you've been doing and what you will continue to do, and that you will continue to be transparent and to provide timely information, updates throughout the investigation or throughout the management of the crisis. The key to crisis communications is to actually communicate. So whether you have something to say or you feel as though you genuinely have nothing to say, coming out and saying whatever it is that you're doing and continuing to do or will continue to do, and whatever information you have uncovered that you are allowed to share, you need to come out and do this. The act of doing this is what people expect of you, and it will help position you as the voice of trust, credibility, and leadership throughout the crisis. Very important. Great question. Do you have any crisis management questions that I can answer through a crisis ready video? If you do, please comment below or take to Twitter using the hashtag crisis ready, and I look forward to responding.